Emily stared at the cracked screen of her phone, the message from Sarah glowing like an accusation in the dim light of her Boston apartment. Lunch again? Miss you already. It had started innocently enough on the crowded T train that morning, her hand brushing against the young attorney's as they both reached for the same pole. But now, hours later, that fleeting touch replayed in her mind like a forbidden loop, stirring something deep and terrifying within her that she had buried for years. She tossed the phone onto the couch, pacing the living room where family photos mocked her from the walls. Her husband, Mark, was out late again at the office, or so he claimed, leaving her alone with the kids who were already tucked in bed. Emily, 35 and a dedicated high school teacher, had always prided herself on her stable life, the suburban house in Newton, the PTA meetings, the Sunday church services. But Sarah's persistence gnawed at her, pulling at threads she didn't want unraveled. The next day, Emily avoided the usual train route, opting for a later one to dodge any chance encounter. Yet, fate or coincidence intervened. There Sarah was, sleek in her tailored suit, her dark hair pulled back in a professional bun, smiling as if the world hadn't just tilted. "Emily, fancy seeing you here," Sarah said, her voice warm and inviting. Emily forced a smile, her heart pounding. They chatted about mundane things, the Red Sox game, the latest court case Sarah was handling. But underneath, Emily felt the pull, the unspoken connection that made her question everything. By lunchtime, Sarah's invitation arrived via text again. Emily hesitated, her finger hovering over the reply button. She thought of her mother, strict and traditional, who had drilled into her the importance of a proper family. Coming from a conservative Catholic background in rural Pennsylvania, Emily had moved to Boston for college, met Mark, and built what seemed like the perfect life. But lately doubts crept in. Was this restlessness just midlife crisis, or something more profound? She accepted the lunch, telling herself it was just networking. Sarah was a rising star at a prestigious law firm, specializing in civil rights cases, and Emily admired her passion. They met at a cozy cafe in Back Bay, the autumn leaves swirling outside the window. Sarah leaned in, her eyes intense. "You seem distracted. Everything okay at home?" Emily nodded too quickly, changing the subject to Sarah's recent victory in a discrimination lawsuit. As they talked, Emily found herself opening up about her frustrations, the endless cycle of teaching, parenting, and feeling invisible. Sarah listened, really listened, her hand occasionally brushing Emily's across the table. It was electric, that touch, sending shivers that Emily attributed to the chill in the air. But deep down she knew better. This was dangerous territory. That night, Mark came home exhausted, collapsing on the couch with a beer. "Rough day?" Emily asked, trying to engage. He grunted, eyes on the TV. Their marriage had grown stale, conversations reduced to logistics about the kids. 8-year-old Lily and 5-year-old Max. Emily loved them fiercely, but she wondered if love for Mark had faded into habit. The lunches with Sarah became weekly. Each time Emily rationalized it, just friends, just support. Sarah shared stories of her own life, growing up in a liberal New York family, coming out in college, fighting for LGBTQ rights in court. Emily envied her freedom, her unapologetic self. "What about you?" Sarah asked one day. "Ever felt like you're living someone else's life?" Emily laughed it off, but the question lingered. At home, tensions mounted. Mark noticed her distractions. "You're always on your phone." "Who's that?" he snapped one evening. Emily lied, saying it was a colleague about lesson plans. The guilt twisted in her gut, but so did the excitement of Sarah's messages. One afternoon, after a particularly intense lunch where Sarah confessed her growing feelings, Emily rushed home in a panic. She stared at her reflection in the bathroom mirror, whispering, "What are you doing?" The woman looking back seemed foreign, eyes wide with fear and desire. She thought of her kids, how a scandal could shatter their world. Society in their affluent suburb whispered about those kinds of people, and her family's judgment would be swift. Yet she couldn't stop. The next meeting was at Sarah's office, a sleek high-rise downtown. Sarah closed the door, her voice soft. "I think I'm falling for you, Emily." The words hung in the air, a bomb detonating silently. Emily's world spun. She stood, backing away. "I can't. I'm married. I have kids." But even as she said it, her heart betrayed her, aching for what she couldn't name. Driving home, tears blurred the road. She pulled over sobbing. This wasn't just friendship. It was an awakening, a confrontation with her true self. But at what cost? Her family, her reputation, her soul? The conflict escalated when Mark found a text from Sarah late one night. "Who's this woman you're seeing so much?" he demanded. Emily stammered, "Just a friend." But Mark's suspicion grew, planting seeds of doubt in their already fragile marriage. Emily confided in her sister, Anna, over the phone. Anna, living in Philadelphia, was more open-minded but cautioned. "Think about the kids, Em. Society isn't kind to changes like this." The words stung, highlighting the societal pressures Emily faced daily. The judgmental glances at school events, the church sermons on traditional families. As weeks passed, Emily's internal turmoil deepened. She dreamed of Sarah, waking in sweats, guilt-ridden. During parent-teacher conferences, she zoned out, imagining a life free from pretense. But reality crashed in. Lily's ballet recital, Max's soccer games, anchors tying her to her current life. Sarah pushed gently, "You deserve happiness, Emily. We both do." But Emily resisted, torn between loyalty and longing. The drama intensified when Sarah invited her to a gala for LGBTQ advocates. Emily declined, but the invitation lingered like a challenge. One evening, alone in the kitchen, Emily broke down. She realized her marriage was a facade, built on expectations rather than passion. But admitting her feelings meant betraying vows, hurting innocence. The psychological weight pressed, making every decision a moral minefield. The gala invitation sat unopened on Emily's dresser, a silent taunt. She had told Sarah no, but the what-if echoed in her mind during sleepless nights. Mark, sensing the distance, suggested couples therapy. "We need to fix this," he said, his voice laced with frustration. Emily agreed, hoping it would ground her, but in the sessions she skirted the truth, blaming work stress. Therapist Dr. Harlan probed gently. "What aren't you saying, Emily?" She froze, images of Sarah flashing. Admitting attraction to another woman would explode everything. Society's lens on her, a mother, a teacher, demanded perfection. Any deviation invited scandal. Meanwhile, Sarah backed off slightly, giving space, but her texts remained supportive. "I'm here when you're ready." Emily appreciated it, but the pull grew stronger. At school, she overheard colleagues gossiping about a gay teacher who had been ostracized. It chilled her. That could be her future. Family pressures mounted when her parents visited from Pennsylvania. Her mother, Evelyn, eyed her critically. "You look tired, dear. Is everything all right with Mark?" Emily nodded, forcing cheer. Dinner was tense, her father preaching about family values amid election talk. Emily bit her tongue, the hypocrisy burning, her own hidden truth clashing with their ideals. After they left, Emily met Sarah secretly in a park, away from prying eyes. "I can't keep doing this," Emily confessed, tears streaming. Sarah hugged her, the embrace lingering too long. "Then choose," Sarah whispered. "Us or the lie." The words cut deep, forcing Emily to confront her mired ethics. Back home, Mark confronted her again. "I saw you in the park." "Who was that?" Emily lied poorly, claiming a student conference. Mark didn't buy it, storming out. The betrayal stung both ways, her to him, his growing distrust to her. Emily's internal conflict peaked during a school event. Watching families, she envied their seeming ease. Her mind wandered to Sarah, imagining a life authentic but fraught with loss. The societal stigma loomed. Custody battles, judgmental friends, career risks. She sought solace in online forums, reading stories of women like her, late bloomers in the LGBTQ community. Some found joy, others ruin. It fueled her debate. Was self-discovery worth the wreckage? The turning point came when Sarah faced her own crisis. A high-profile case involving a lesbian couple's adoption rights went south, drawing hate mail. Sarah called Emily in distress. "I need you." Emily drove to her apartment, comforting her. In that vulnerability, they shared a kiss, chaste but charged, awakening Emily fully. Guilt crashed immediately. She fled, driving aimlessly. Home, Mark waited angry. Where were you? The fight erupted, accusations flying. Emily admitted nothing, but the rift widened. Days later, Emily's mother called, sensing trouble. Divorce isn't an option, Emily. Think of the children. The pressure suffocated, clashing with her burgeoning identity. Sarah, hurt by Emily's retreat, distanced herself. I can't be your secret. Emily felt the loss acutely, realizing her indecision hurt everyone. At therapy, Emily broke. I think I'm gay, she whispered. Dr. Harlan nodded calmly. That's a start. But Mark in the joint session reacted poorly. What? Since when? The revelation shattered him, leading to separate living arrangements. Emily moved to a small apartment, the kids splitting time. Lily asked innocently, why is Daddy mad? Emily's heart broke, the cost of her truth manifesting in her daughter's confusion. Societal backlash hit. Whispers at school, friends distancing. One parent complained about her lifestyle, influencing students. The principal supported her, but the damage lingered. Reconnecting with Sarah tentatively, Emily navigated the fallout. Dates were stolen moments, filled with joy but shadowed by guilt. Family intervention came via Anna, who visited. Mom and Dad are devastated. They say it's a phase. Emily defended. It's who I am. The argument highlighted generational divides, moral quandaries. Mark filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. Custody loomed, Emily fearing bias against her orientation. Through it all, Emily's resolve hardened. She joined a support group, hearing tales of similar struggles, betrayal of self versus family. But doubts persisted. Had she chosen correctly? The psychological toll showed in therapy, unpacking years of repression. Sarah's patience waned. I love you, but this half-life isn't enough. Emily faced another crossroads. Commit or lose her. Custody hearings began in the sterile Boston family court, where Emily sat rigid, her lawyer arguing her fitness as a mother. Mark's side painted her as unstable, her sudden change, evidence of poor judgment. The judge, an older man with a stern gaze, listened impassively. Emily's stomach churned. Societal biases against LGBTQ parents were real. Studies showed higher scrutiny. Outside, protesters from conservative groups waved signs, amplifying the drama. Emily avoided eye contact, the public shaming a new low. Sarah waited in the car, offering support but unable to enter, too risky for optics. At home with the kids on her days, Emily overcompensated, baking cookies, reading extra stories. Max clung to her, sensing upheaval. Lily, more perceptive, asked, Do you love someone else, Mommy? Emily hedged. It's complicated, sweetie. The moral weight of her choices crushed her. Had honesty been selfish? Family rift deepened. Her parents disinvited her from Thanksgiving, calling her lifestyle a sin. Evelyn's voice cracked on the phone. We raised you better. Emily hung up, sobbing, the rejection a dagger to her core. Sarah's world intersected when her firm took on Emily's case pro bono, conflicting interests arising. Sarah recused, but tension built. This is messing with my career, she admitted. Emily felt the betrayal, her awakening costing Sarah too. In support group, Emily shared, hearing echoes. One woman lost custody. Another rebuilt stronger. It fueled her fight, but doubts nagged. Was love worth this pain? Mark softened slightly, proposing mediation. Over coffee, he confessed. I knew something was off for years. Maybe I ignored it. Emily nodded. A rare moment of understanding amid the wreckage. But societal pressures persisted. At school, a colleague outed her subtly in the staff room, leading to awkward silences. Emily stood tall, but inside she crumbled. Recommitting to Sarah, they planned a quiet weekend away in Cape Cod. There, amid crashing waves, Emily voiced fears. What if I'm wrong? Sarah reassured, love isn't wrong. Their bond deepened, but reality intruded via a call from Anna. Mom had a heart scare. She blames the stress from you. Guilt surged. Emily rushed back, hospital bedside tense. Evelyn whispered, Come back to God, Emily. The plea tore at her, moral conflict raging. Family duty versus personal truth. Discharged, Evelyn demanded Emily end it with Sarah. For the grandkids. Emily refused, the standoff a turning point. Custody resolved shared, but Mark gained primary during school weeks. Emily's heart ached. The price paid in limited time with her children. Sarah proposed moving in together, but Emily hesitated, fearing more upheaval. I need time. Sarah's frustration boiled. Time for what? To hide again. The argument escalated, Sarah accusing Emily of cowardice. Emily fired back. You don't get the stakes, my family, my job. Doors slammed, a temporary split. Alone, Emily reflected on her journey, from accidental touch to life-altering decisions. The psychological scars ran deep, therapy sessions unpacking trauma. Reconciliation attempts faltered. Mark dated someone new, rubbing salt. Emily envied his ease, societal norms favoring him. At a pride event Sarah dragged her to, Emily felt out of place amid celebrations. But seeing families like hers, two moms with kids, sparked hope. Yet, betrayal struck when Anna revealed she had told Mark about Sarah early on, hoping to save the marriage. Emily felt violated, trust shattered. Confronting Anna, shouts echoed. You had no right. Anna defended. I was protecting you from yourself. The sibling bond strained, highlighting ethical divides. Emily's awakening culminated in a bold step, coming out to her students via a subtle lesson on diversity. Backlash came, petitions circulating, but support too from progressive parents. Sarah returned, apologetic. I pushed too hard. They rebuilt slowly, navigating the debris. But the costs mounted. Lost friends, family estrangement, career uncertainty. Emily wondered if the freedom was worth the isolation. With shared custody in place, Emily's life fragmented into schedules, drop-offs, pickups, forced civility with Mark. The kids adapted unevenly. Lily withdrew, Max acted out. Emily attended family therapy, unpacking the damage her choices inflicted. It's not your fault, the counselor said, but Emily disagreed inwardly. Her pursuit of authenticity had ripple effects, moral ambiguities haunting her. Societal scrutiny intensified when a local news story highlighted her divorce, framing it as a midlife crisis gone wrong. Comments online vilified her, calling her selfish, unfit. Emily scrolled obsessively, the hate fueling self-doubt. Was she a pioneer or a destroyer? Sarah's career suffered collateral damage. Clients pulled out, wary of association. It's temporary, she assured, but resentment simmered. Emily offered to step back, but Sarah refused. We're in this together. Their relationship, once electric, now tested by external pressures. Family holidays loomed, Emily uninvited from Christmas. She hosted a small gathering with Sarah and the kids, but absences echoed. Lily asked about Grandma, Emily's explanation hollow. The ethical tightrope. Honoring her truth versus preserving family ties. In therapy alone, Emily explored repression's roots, childhood crushes dismissed, marriage as escape. Dr. Harlan noted, coming out later in life is common, but the fallout is real. Emily nodded, the psychological depth revealing layers of trauma. A confrontation with Mark turned ugly. You blew up our family for what? A fling, he yelled. Emily countered. It was never a fling. It was me. The exchange exposed mutual hurts, no easy villains. Sarah faced her own demons, confiding in Emily about past relationships ended by similar conflicts. I thought you were different. The vulnerability bonded them, but Emily sensed fragility. Societal change offered glimmers. A Supreme Court ruling on LGBTQ rights bolstered Sarah's work. Emily volunteered at her firm, finding purpose in advocacy. But personal costs persisted, friends ghosting, neighbors staring. Betrayal reared when a colleague leaked her story to the school board, prompting an investigation. Emily fought, hiring Sarah's firm. The hearing was grueling, questions probing her private life. Does your orientation affect your teaching? One board member asked. Emily's response was measured. It makes me more empathetic. Cleared, but scarred, Emily questioned her path. Had suppression been kinder? The internal debate raged, logic clashing with emotion. Reconnecting with parents tentatively, a phone call from Evelyn. We missed the grandkids. Emily negotiated a visit, sans Sarah. The compromise felt like betrayal to her partner. At the Pennsylvania home, tensions crackled. Her father avoided eye contact. Mother probed subtly. Are you happy now? Evelyn asked. Emily lied. Yes, the weight of omission heavy. Back in Boston, Sarah confronted. You hid me like a secret. The fight escalated, Sarah packing a bag. Call when you're ready to live openly. Alone again, Emily hit rock bottom, contemplating reconciliation with Mark for stability. But a dream of Sarah jolted her. The cost of regression too high. Support group stories inspired. One woman regained family after years. Emily reached out to Anna, mending fences. I need allies, she said. Anna softened. I'll try. Custody adjustment favored Emily more, kids thriving in routine. But Lily's school project on families included 2 homes, tugging heartstrings. Sarah returned after space, their reunion tentative. We fight for this, Emily vowed. Dates resumed, building resilience. Yet a new twist. Mark's new girlfriend, pregnant, accelerated his life forward. Emily felt replaced, the moral quandary. Had her departure enabled his happiness? Psychological growth came via journaling, chronicling decisions' prices. She realized awakening wasn't selfish, denial was. Family breakthrough. Parents invited Sarah to a neutral dinner. Awkward, but a step. Evelyn admitted. I don't understand, but I love you. The drama simmered, high points amid lows. Emily's teaching incorporated inclusivity, earning respect. But shadows lingered. Societal acceptance uneven, personal scars permanent. As winter blanketed Boston, Emily's life stabilized precariously. Shared holidays with Mark worked, kids exchanging gifts between homes. But undercurrents of resentment flowed. Mark's subtle digs, Emily's guarded responses. The ethical balance. Co-parenting demanded sacrifice, her freedom tempered by obligation. Sarah's promotion at the firm brought celebration, but with it, relocation talks to DC for bigger cases. Come with me, she urged. Emily balked. Uprooting kids mid-school year? The conflict reignited internal storms, love versus motherhood. Societal winds shifted with a local election, anti-LGBTQ rhetoric rising. Emily marched in protests, Sarah by her side, but fear crept in. What if it affects custody, she worried. The psychological toll manifested in anxiety attacks, therapy increasing. Family dynamics evolved slowly. Anna mediated a full reunion, parents meeting Sarah formally. Her father grumbled. Times change, a grudging acceptance. Evelyn hugged Emily whispering, be safe. The moment bittersweet. Years of pressure easing slightly. Betrayal surfaced anew when Lily confided a school bully taunted her about 2 moms. Emily's rage boiled, confronting the principal. The incident highlighted ongoing stigma, her choices fall out on innocence. In therapy, Emily unpacked guilt. Did I prioritize myself over them? Dr. Harlan challenged, or model authenticity? The debate fueled growth, logic piecing together her narrative. Sarah's impatience grew with the DC offer looming. We can't stall forever. Emily decided against moving, prioritizing stability. Sarah accepted reluctantly, commuting planned. But tension peaked during a weekend visit. Sarah snapped. I'm tired of being second. Emily retorted. You're not, the kids are first. The standoff a microcosm of their struggles. Reconciliation followed, but fragility showed. Emily wondered if relationships post-awakening were doomed to compromise. Career-wise, Emily pursued a master's in counseling, inspired by her journey. Helping others navigate identity crises became her calling, turning pain to purpose. Mark's wedding invitation arrived a gut punch. Attending with Sarah, Emily faced judgments, but held her head high. The event underscored closure. Her old life definitively ended. Post-wedding, Emily reflected on losses. Innocence, certainty bonds. But gains emerged: self-knowledge, deeper love. Family acceptance deepened. Parents visited Boston, engaging Sarah politely. Progress hard-won. Yet a crisis hit. Max's illness, hospitalization uniting all. In the waiting room, Mark and Emily bonded over fear, Sarah supporting quietly. The scare reinforced priorities, moral lines blurring in crisis. Recovered, Max's words. I like having two families. Innocence healed wounds. Sarah's DC move proceeded part-time, their relationship long-distance testing. Video calls sustained, but loneliness crept. Emily joined online communities, sharing her story anonymously. Responses varied: support, criticism, sparking debates on ethics of late coming out. A book deal offer came, memoir potential. Emily hesitated, exposure risky. But Sarah encouraged, your voice matters. Drafting chapters, Emily relived traumas, cathartic yet painful. The process illuminated decisions' complexities. As spring approached, Emily proposed to Sarah during a Cape Cod revisit. Let's build our life. Sarah accepted, joy amid realism. Planning involved kids, Mark's input. The blended dynamic evolved, societal norms challenged. But doubts whispered. Was this the right path? The wedding was intimate, on a sunny beach in Provincetown, symbol of acceptance. Lily scattered flowers, Max carried rings. Mark attended graciously, his wife by his side. Emily's parents came, Evelyn tearing up, her father nodding approval. The vows exchanged. A culmination of turmoil and triumph. Post-honeymoon, life in Boston with Sarah felt surreal. Shared home, routines blending. But adjustments grated. Kids' resistance to changes, neighbors' stares. Emily's internal peace fragile. Therapy continuing. Societal backlash persisted subtly. A denied promotion at school hinted at bias. Emily fought legally, Sarah leading. Victory came, but exhaustion followed. Family holidays unified tentatively, joint celebrations awkward yet hopeful. Anna's support bridged gaps, her own life influenced, questioning her marriage. Sarah's DC commute strained, temptations arising. A confession. I almost strayed. Emily's hurt profound, betrayals sting fresh. Forgiveness tested, their bond mending through counseling. Emily's memoir published, awakened shadows, sparking discussions. Reviews praised raw honesty, critics decried selfishness. The exposure invited hate mail, but also letters of gratitude from women in similar binds. Reflecting, Emily tallied costs. Shattered marriage, strained family, scarred children, career hurdles. But the awakening brought authenticity, love, purpose. The psychological journey complete? Never fully but managed. Kids thrived eventually, Lily embracing diversity clubs, Max indifferent to norms. Their resilience humbled Emily. Final confrontation with self. In quiet moments, she pondered the ethics. Had her path been moral, or a cascade of harms justified by personal gain? As years blurred, the story's essence lingered, choices, prices, society's evolution slow. But was it right to upend lives for hidden truths? Or does duty demand silence?